in your meeting whenever you want to do it.
All right, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item will be pledge allegiance. Everybody stand, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next item is approval of May 16th meeting minutes.
I make a motion that we accept them as written, as presented.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Okay. All right, any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay. All right. Now, the next one is approval of May financial report.
I make a motion that we accept the May financial report.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the May financial report. Any discussion? If none, all in favor? All right, all in favor. The next item under old business is update on alcohol ordinance. We're still working on that.
We are, we'll have something for you to review at the July meeting. I'll try to email it out in advance so y'all can be looking at it before that meeting as well.
All right. The next item is update on town hall repairs. As y'all can see, we're, I'd say 90% complete with the repairs. I think we're gonna have some money left over. And if it's what I think, the town will not have any money come out of their budget if everything works out as planned. The only other big option of expense is Tony Golden. I'm not sure what his final tally will be, but that's the only other big thing.
He's the general contractor.
No, he's the sheet rock. I backed it as general contractor. All right. So, any questions on those? Not. New business. Like I say, y'all, council, y'all heard the request of we put Wildcat timber, but executive firearms. Request to rezone their potential property they're buying.
So I have a couple questions. So this report right here, did the citizens of Talking Rock see this report?
No, we just brought this today to put it to the
That's what I
record.
thought. So I think that is probably an issue. It's a major issue where the residents haven't had a chance to review this, and I've glossed over it. And I see the different caliber of weapons or ammo that's being used. I see how the examples are here. And I think this definitely, and before you vote on it, definitely I think needs to have the opportunity for the citizens to see it, regardless of your opinion on it. So I think that is one of the problems. I think we wouldn't be able to successfully vote on it either way without having that information. So.
Okay. Any other questions from the council?
Well, I agree with James, but not only for the citizens, but this is a 75-page report.
Yes.
And being the dummy that I am, I can't just sit here and flip through this and say that it's a accurate report. No offense, guys.
I didn't do the report.
Okay, I know, but you know what I'm saying. So I personally would like a chance to be able to sit down and go through this myself. And then if I have questions, be able to call someone and ask them, you know, okay, what does this mean?
They're available, absolutely.
Okay.
Do we have a soft
Um,
copy of that?
I can do that.
So that's where I stand. I am not comfortable voting on this until I have a chance to review this piece of paper, this, well, 75 pieces of paper.
I got a question.
Okay,
No.
no, okay.
Okay.
I think, if I may, I think there's been some valid points on both sides. And I understand, because I'm a resident of Talking Rock and I own numerous weapons, I understand how there can be a misconception if you hear the term gun range. And it's easy to make misconceptions if you know that it's at a certain property, but you hear a lot of hearsay or just a lot of information being passed through. So I think, even though you've staged your presentation twice already, one abbreviated for this town council, but last town council was very thorough, I think there's still misconceptions of what you're really trying to achieve. Because when I hear the term gun range, I don't think that some individuals understand. When I hear gun range, I've been on gun ranges where I pull up, pay my fee, have all my ammo, I can shoot 2-3 hours as many times as I can pull the trigger. And this, your situation, is definitely not that situation at all. Where it's basically a block of instruction, a school, and it's very, very controlled. Is that correct?
That's exactly correct. And then we've never used the term gun range. We've always used a private training facility.
Right. And so, is it safe to say, and it is possible, that we're all sitting in this room and really we have these conceptions of what this is like, good or bad, but we really don't really know what it's at. Because right now, as a member of the town council, I physically do not know exactly where you're talking about the center of that property. I don't know what that looks like. I haven't seen it. I can't visually do it. And I can go and look at this report, but I'm just basically going on what you're saying, on what the townspeople are saying. So it's hard to make, you know, a real clear, concise determination for that. Would you guys agree? I mean, has anybody on the town council been at the center of this property? I don't know.
No.
So it's hard for me to make a decision on that as well.
Let's go.
Sounds like a solid plan. Sounds like, you know, I'm with the residents here because I'm concerned as a resident myself about noise pollution and lead and just all the issues that might be from that. But I think that's what we're missing from here is just a clear, and we talked about this before, I understand you understand your business plan. I don't know if everybody else understands that. And I think it's going to be challenging to have an accurate vote, yes or no, based on that. Do you know where I'm coming from on that?
I understand what you're saying, it makes sense, and people, I think, respectfully speaking, I think a lot of the perception you've had from where the current Pickens County is and the noise that you hear from the upper echelon, we're just a different beast, we're a completely different animal, so a lot of the complaints or the concerns I hear from you is, I hear the noise, and in my mind I'm thinking we're a completely different, please don't put what you have experienced currently with what our plan is to do. That's easy. I spent an hour and a half respectfully last time going over the explicit details of it.
Are y'all gonna put that report online or something where everybody can
You
study?
can do that as well. Make a note of the report, and we can also do this if necessary. This is your summary of the report, and this is really the most important piece. This location down off of Fisher Creek, there's a house down here, someone may hear be that lives it, they have a hound dog down there. There you go. We could not get an accurate reading by you because we had to come 1,000 feet closer to the range because as we went down, your dog does a great job. They were, you know, barking and protecting, but the dog's bark was nearly as loud as the gun, so we had to even come closer.
I'm out the street there a little bit closer to you.
I can hear my dogs like way up in towards.
Okay.
I know, yes. So this is your biggest.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right. No talking from the audience.
So ultimately, with all due respect, we left the last meeting and you said do the sound testing. Most of the sound here is, again, with the gentleman over here, it's not even distinguishable. Everything's under 40. If you look at these documents, that's your answer. The answer is it's all not a noise nuisance based on the testing. So I'm not arguing with the. Oh, sorry.
But one thing I have to say is, it's clear as everything to you.
Yes.
But you have to consider those of us that don't deal with Soundcast every day, and you give me this, and I'm supposed to make heads or tails of it, it's not gonna happen,
Agree,
okay? If we could have gotten this ahead of time,
yes.
so that we could have done some research on it, it would be.
And I didn't have all of your email addresses to send it to you. Respect.
Now, who determined where the sound test was done?
The sound organization, they came out and they saw where we were going to put the berm, and they triangulated the position they thought was the easiest and cleanest for the local residents, is what they chose. Because they saw Dr. Cadelius's, which is up high on the hill. Mr. Essie's is over the hill and down, so they said that was even less sound than what we received from Cadelius's. And then Mr. Mullins and the young lady in the back on the other side. We just couldn't get close enough just due to the
I live like right next door to the.
Okay, and they are a certified company, and they.
They've done other sound testing for other ranges before in North Carolina as well. And they're available via phone if you need help.
Okay, so could you come back to the town council with some, guidelines saying that these are the only weapons that you're going to use?
Sure.
That you're not going to use any other weapons. The hours that you're going to be open. What you're going to build there. And what is the size of the shooting range? Anything else?
Well, it's a basic business plan.
Yeah.
So again, going to what I'm saying, I think you've done a thorough job here in your presentation, but for the residents, the business plan, which outlines every aspect of the business for operational, every issue. And you're well aware of business plans, you've been in business for several years. So to outline that so the citizens of the town can see that, they can understand. That would explain the hours, your location, emphasis of operation, whatever. But then including the testing, and then I was thinking about it, as Cheryl was saying it, a little bit of clear understanding of what this means. I can see all the data. Does this mean it's good or not? Now I do see the examples of dogs versus traffic, cars passing, and I see the decibels that versus the decibels of the calibers that's used. I see that. And then I also see in this property, I see, for example, I just pulled up this page, it outlines the individual property where things were tested. So this is good information.
And there's some.
That would people see it, yes.
And they had a summary page, which
Yeah,
kind of
so-
took all that complex.
You're right, if this would have been out a couple days after the last town council, then people would have had a chance to see it. We just had the basis of seeing the first
Of course.
presentation. So I think it's difficult to make a decision for that. I also would like to say this, is that for you folks that don't know me, my name is James Bryan. I've been on the council, I've been in the town of Talking Rock for 6 years. I'm retired military. And I've been on this town council for a year. And it's awesome that I finally see a majority of the residents here at our town council. As the town council, if you're not fully aware of our operating budget for any given year, it is very difficult for the revenue that comes into this town based on the overhead that needs to be spent to run the town. So I'm glad that you guys are here. So for me, as a member of the town council, I'm always looking at potential revenue. How can we grow business? How can we make money so we can continue running the town of Talking Rock? I hope that every citizen of Talking Rock is concerned with that, because that's how we maintain the park, how we got the new the equipment that's out there at the park, the upgrades here at the town council, some of the other things that we have in the future. That's important. That money's just not given to us. That's revenue. So we're always looking for that. That's how we look at our taxes and everything else. So I want you to understand, I'm not agreeing or am I opposing, but as a member of the town council, I'm worried and concerned about how do we pay the bills each month. That's what my concern is. And so I want you to understand that as well. Okay? So this is a potential. Not agreeing it, yes or no. I'm just telling you, here's a potential so we can build possible revenue. But I do agree, we need to look deeper into it. What does this really mean? Is it a gun range? How does that affect? What is the potential revenue? I can sit here and tell you it's revenue all day long. We're going to make money. Okay, great. What does that mean? What does that look like? That's a part of a business plan. Okay? So those things I think would be beneficial for the town itself so you can make a solid decision, yes or no. Because I think we're missing a lot of information based on this meeting tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so do y'all want to table this till,
I'll make a motion that we table until the next meeting so that everybody has a chance to review this report and ask any questions.
I have a second.
Well, before we do that, what is the plan? When is this going to be posted? When are we going to get a business plan for the town?
The moment we walk out.
So I would encourage that the citizens of the town understand that so they know the expectations. Where will they see this business plan? Where will this be posted so someone can see it within the next 24 hours? Where is that? I'm asking.
Don't change anything,
We
we
can
see that.
put it on the city's website.
City website within the next 24 hours. Is that fair?
Business plan also?
What's that?
The business plan also?
Yes.
Of what actually it's gonna
Well,
be?
I don't know. How long will it take you to do your business plan? Because a lot of questions was asked about your business plan tonight.
So I have a question about that. The business plan is for us and our business. Do you mean a business plan specifically for how it's going to benefit Talking Rock specifically?
No. So right now, as a town council member, I don't know when you're opened, when you're going to operate. You talked about 2 classes in the day, then you sort of did a drug deal with someone over here about doing it done before church. That's not really how we do business. We need solid, the 5 W's. What we're doing, what this looks like, so people have a clear understanding. And I think, based on this and just what I've seen, this answers a lot of questions in here as well.
It answers the specific questions you asked for the last meeting.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think there are people in here that take the term gun range and have a different idea of what gun range means. And I don't think that's what your gun range is. Yours is a very controlled block of instruction. So again, I think it's important to you, if you really want this business, it's your opportunity to outline that and make sure everybody understands that.
And I think one more thing that, unless you're there doing the sound test and I witness, the uninclusive test, but, from the doctor's property there. And I'm telling you, cannot hear, we had to stop talking and actually listen and actually unmute his phone, the shooter, to actually hear when he was shooting. So would you be open to possibly, let's set a time, maybe in one afternoon after everybody gets off work, and we set this schedule up and put it on the town's website, and let's let them hear y'all actually shooting the 3 guns.
We've done that before.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. So it gives them an opportunity to come see and actually see if that is coming from your or the sheriff's and the gun. And I think when somebody sees it visually or hears it, I think it registers a lot better than just talking about it. Because
Just for the town, we're here today, and we've been here the whole time because we want to be transparent. We don't like to hide and do things behind the scenes, so anything you want to offer, we're always open to.
We're genuinely not trying to pull a fast one on y'all, at all.
Well, that's why we're sitting here.
And we understand you saying that, but most of us have known each other all of our lives, and we barely know you. So we need something to tell us that you're not going to go in there, we're going to go through all this trouble, and you put that in there, and then all of a sudden, your business plan didn't work out, and the next thing we know, you're gone. Now, I know you told us that the property would stay in your family. I understand that. But there's a lot that we're responsible for to answer to the citizens if a business comes in here and does that and then it's gone. That falls on us.
And like Mr. Ted Estes has stated, I would personally like the courtesy of having a sound test while I'm there. I have property right across from the Warrens, and I want to know that I'm not going to be able to hear it. You're going to be right in my front door. And that's not something I'm interested in hearing.
Are you willing to stay and talk to any people out there?
That would have been a lot less expensive than this, if y'all met us out there. So
Would you
just
like
be-
one of us to be?
The applicant seems to indicate he's willing to be here after the meeting to talk to any of you individually, to answer any questions, talk about that stuff, so y'all can do that.
And like I say, y'all set up a date and everything. But we can also, put provisions on this property where they just can't build everything and anything on that property. And we can also state that, you know, once the gun range is gone, another one can't come for that training facility. We can put provisions, is that not correct?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Okay.
Provisions to have to be approved, what goes in there, if this doesn't work out,
Yes.
you decide to put something else,
Yes.
like a grading company or something in
Right.
there, or
Right,
Exactly.
and then we would do another public hearing and put signs out stating what they want to do.
And I will say at the last meeting, one of my questions was, and they were very adamant in trying to accommodate us, because my question was the church services. You know, if they were going to be doing it on Sunday, if, you know, I know Talking About First Baptist has Wednesday night services, so you have to take those things into consideration. But they assured us that whatever hours we told them they could operate, that's when they would operate.
Never on Sunday.
I'm sorry, Jim?
Never on Sunday.
Right. Well, now,
Right, Chick-fil-A.
but rethink that, Jim, because y'all only meet one Sunday a month, right?
Right.
Okay, so
So they're gonna shut down the week of revival for Talking About Baptist? They meet morning
if
and night.
that's what we need, yes,
Because they meet morning and night.
right. And you know, that's what I'm saying. We get those schedules, and then we give it to them and say, okay, this is when you can operate during these days. Because we can't interfere with the church services, okay?
fit right into that business plan, that everybody needs to know. Because I mean, they don't know really what you're gonna do.
I'd just like to say one thing.
Hold on. I'm sorry, sir.
I thought you said I
We
could say.
can't,
Well, people can answer questions, but otherwise we reopen the public hearing and then somebody's gonna sue us. So, we don't want that to happen.
okay, so we're gonna table this motion.
There's a motion to table, I think we were still waiting on a second.
I second.
Right. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion from the council? If none, all in favor? Okay? All right. All right. So that is. Okay,
Save benefit
ma'am, no, it's not open.
If you wanna go answer questions.
Yeah, it's not open. If anybody wants to go out, now,
We're gonna go out to answer questions if anybody wants to join.
I'll give a few minutes for y'all to step out if y'all want to talk with me. Okay, folks, if y'all want to talk, go outside.
Can I ask when we get a
No.
copy of that document that y'all have said we
He
can
just kept
have?
saying he's gonna put it on the website.
I got a telephone. I can't read a 70-page document on a telephone.
Well, I'm sorry, but I think
And
the
some
only
of
thing
these
we have
older
to
people
law
don't
is
even know,
on the
don't use a
website. Is that
computer.
right?
That's the best way to distribute
Yeah.
information.
The older people don't even use a computer.
I'm sorry, man. I just,
Ma'am, you have to understand that our budget does not allow us to make infinite copies of a 75-page report. We don't have the money to do it.
now you might ask the gentleman outside to give you a copy,
Yeah,
if you want to.
but we can't afford to do it.
All right.
Either way you go, I still love it.
I love you too, Jim.
Older
I
people.
thank you for this service you talked about.
All right, let's move on. The next item is talk about a mobile home district where you can allow mobile homes. We're talking to Jeff. There's not one in our uses, permitted uses, is that correct?
Right, I mean, you have a mobile home district in your ordinance. You do not have a mobile home district approved anywhere in the city, so you don't have a place that they are generally approved. And I don't know if the ordinance otherwise really deals well with mobile homes. I think the implication of the ordinance is they would only be allowed in a mobile home district, and you don't have one, so.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna tell you, I had a request from, Toddy Estes, Toddy Hendricks, excuse me, wanting to know if a mobile home was allowed on his property, that he was trying to sell. And of course I told him no. He wanted to know if there was anything to do. I said, well, we can ask. So that's what I'm doing, is bringing it before the council to figure out if y'all allow or anything like that. So that's where that's at. Y'all discuss having a mobile home district or not having one.
And even your mobile home district, understand that does not allow a mobile home park. Even under your ordinance, a mobile home district still requires a minimum lot size of 2 acres.
Okay, so it wouldn't.
So if a property is approved for a mobile home, it has to have 2 acres.
Okay, and if let's say that we do a mobile home district, they would have to do a rezoning request, just like.
That's correct.
And ask for that.
Yes.
And the one thing that I have, y'all know I have nothing against mobile homes, live in one myself. But I have seen these mobile home districts where people are allowed, and they'll do, you say 2 acres, but then they'll do a real skinny 2 acres up through there. And there's no really buffer on either side of it. If we do that, that's something we need to make sure it doesn't happen.
Okay. All right, so we are going to do this case by case. If somebody comes before us wanting to put a mobile home, is that what we're going to do? Or?
Right now, it would require a rezoning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rezoning on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. All right. So the next item is resolution to add Rachel Jones to the banking account and credit card. I have a resolution here. Whereas the town council, the town of Talking Rock, Georgia, requests the town credit card issued to Buffy Holcomb, former town clerk, be changed to Rachel Jones, current town clerk. Whereas the town council gives authorization to Rachel Jones, the town clerk, to make inquiries into accounts and sign checks on behalf of the town of Talking. Now therefore be resolved by the motion of vote of town council resolved this 20th day of June 2019.
Who's on it now other than Buffy?
Just me, as far as signing.
So it's just gonna be you, Rachel, and you.
Yes. Okay. So it does say.
Make a motion that we adopt the resolution as presented.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I have a question. Trying to learn. Is the mayor allowed to be on for the finances for the credit card?
Yes.
Mayor is? If you vote that he is,
That's up to
Yeah.
the
did we
council.
vote?
Well, I mean,
Years, and it's been several years, James. I mean,
Okay.
it's been this way for many years. And the main reason being is because the mayor, because we don't have paid office staff, other than now we have Rachel. But the mayor's the one that goes out here and makes all these purchases and stuff, and so it just makes it much easier to do it that way.
all right. So do I have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay. All right, I take care of that. Okay, the next item is change meeting time to 7 p.m. Like I say, we've had times where people have had to rush to get here or be late. So we have a hard time getting people to serve on the town council as it is. So I think we can be a little accommodating to the people that wants to
To their work schedule.
to the work schedule to allow them to, meet, serve on the council. So that's my request to y'all. So,
I make a motion that we change the meeting starting next month to 7 p.m.
okay. All right. So I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second, change the meeting time to 7 p.m. Any other discussion?
I would tell you that you need to actually change your ordinance. But your ordinance already says you meet at 7.
Okay. All right. Okay, so, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? All right. Okay. The next item is to vote to have the next meeting, since it falls on July the 4th, to have the meeting July the 11th, which is the next Thursday.
I make a motion, we have the next meeting on July the 11th at 7 o'clock.
Okay. 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 All right, that's to be determined, make sure that, I guess we'll have to make sure everybody's in town, because Andrew just said that she wouldn't be here on that night. And so,
I'll be here.
I will.
No, I'm always
you
here.
will, okay. All right, so anyway.
Because I won't be here the next following week, the 15th.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll see you all.
Okay, all right, we have a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay. If there's no other business,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
so moved.